Right, this is a quick extra video, so video 4 of the series. Well, I've realised I've missed out some parts, but also to kind of clarify on some of the situations you might run into. So what I've done is I've duplicated the original model. And what I'm going to show you is how we can model or rig something or a model which is all attached together. So if I just attach everything, that's fine. Like so. Get these bits here. There you go. Now I've got the mesh. What you need to do is select the mesh, add a skin, and this bit can be a bit more complicated, but it's not too difficult when you get used to it. So what I'm going to do is, I should probably name everything as well because there's a second set here, so I'm just going to, I'm going to leave everything as 001 so I know that, let me just click this. I know that this is the duplicated rig. So added skin, I'm going to go down, add bones, and I'm going to find my duplicated set of bones. That's not the bone, sorry. Just to let you know, these sections here, or this icon here, indicates that this is a bone, and this icon here indicates that it's a spline, okay, or a shape. This one here, 3D mesh primitive. So what I'm going to do is open this up, and I'm going to add all of the duplicated bones, rather than clicking each one, adding a skin, and adding one single bone. So what we've gone through here is, if I click skin, edit poly, you will see that this bone here is 100%, so red equals 100% affected by the bone. Because we just added a skin and only one bone, it means that that one bone is controlling all of that mesh. Whereas if we go over here, it's a bit more complicated because we got one mesh with multiple sections which need to move, and 4 bones here. What I'm going to do is go to edit envelopes, and you will see, not looking what we need it to look like. This one bone is affecting only these corners of the briefcase. So how I would deal with this when it comes to something not a human, but something more mechanical, modular. I'll click vertices here. This way I can select the vertices. You'd still have to do that even on a character, to be fair. But what I'm going to do differently is come down to here and select, tick select element. What this does is, if I select one vertice, it will then select the element of the briefcase. So say I made this bottom bit out of just one mesh, it will only select that one mesh. Anything where the vertices are welded together, it will select all of that object. If you do not have anything separated like me, then what you would need to do is individually select every single, let me turn this off, every single vertice. There might be some tools around it, so you might be able to click one of these. If I just open up this section, which we'll introduce you to soon, click 2 of these, and then loop. You'll be able to select all the loops around here, or ring, or grow if you wanted to. That way, it gives you a bit of extra control of what you can be selecting. For now, what I'm going to do is select elements. It's kind of made in pieces, then I attach together. And then going to get rid of this annoying kind of line going around the bone here, because it just affects our vision. So I'm going to click display. Then I'm going to click show no envelopes, make sure that's ticked. As you can see, it gets rid of that kind of capsule around the bone. Okay, with that done, I'm going to scroll down on this left side. Remember to hold down with the mouse button and then drag. Please do not scroll. I'm going to find this kind of spanner tool here. It's weight tool. Okay. So what we're talking about with weight is red is 100% affected. It's just understanding the weight a bone has on a vertice. Whereas something like 0.1 will be blue. Okay, and then it'll get better or bigger and go towards that red color, yellow, orange, and then more into that dark red. Okay. So with this white tool open, make sure this is always open. Sometimes it can close on itself, and then you'll just have to open it up down here. I'm going to select this bottom bone here. You can either left click on this bone. However, I'd advise not doing that, because if you hold on left click and move, you will move the bone, which you do not want to happen. So what I would normally like to do is go to this list on the right where we added our bones. And I like to click the bone individually on here. So I'm going to select bottom root bone. Select this bottom bit, one vertex, we'll select the whole bottom bit of this briefcase, and then I'm going to click 1, so that's 100% affected. All these vertices are 100% affected by this bone. I'm going to do the same thing with this top bit. I'm going to select one vertex, you don't need to drag. I advise not dragging, or else you might select a model or a mesh inside of another mesh. Select one vertex, 1. I'm going to select this bone here, so if you are just left clicking on the bone line, just make sure you're careful with it. That seems to have already been done. This bit here needs to be affected by the bottom root bone, so I'm going to select the bottom root bone, select this bit here, and click 1. I'm going to move over here and do the exact same thing, so make sure that's 1. I'm going to select this, that's all done for me. We got this bit here where we see some problems. Just show you what the problems will look like if you do want to test your rig. Turn off edit envelopes and then move. So if I move this, you'll see that this is being affected by this bone, which we do not want to happen. So I'm going to click edit envelopes, make sure this is selected, and make sure this is, yep, make sure the right bone is selected, and make sure this is all 1. There we go. And just make sure it's all sorted. So this bit is fine. I think that's all done for us now. Now the mesh is, I do have the animation still on, which is cool. You can take animation over, as long as, if you say, let's say you select a bone, as long as auto key's off, you should be okay with it. It'll be the control, sorry. Difference with bone rigs is you won't have the animation controls on the right side. There's a whole other section for making your animation layers. So let's just play the animation. And now, even though it's one object, it is now moving like it should, or rotating like it should. Yeah. Once again, any questions, please let a tutor know. If you do want to do more rigging or a bit more into characters, I can make something on that. I think I've gone through everything which you need to. One extra thing is, if you are exporting a model, make sure the control rig is hidden. Select what needs to be exported, go to File, Export, Selected. Just another thing to clarify is, if you are planning to unwrap and texture this model, please make sure that you unwrap and texture it, or at least unwrap it before you add the skin modifier. It will cause problems when you import it into an engine such as Unreal Engine. Yeah, thank you for listening. Hopefully you learned some stuff with rigging, and hopefully this clarified a few of the extra problems, especially when it comes to a single mesh and how to rig a single mesh. Goodbye.